Hi friends, today onwards I will cover like a DB2 application programming. In this application programming subject, I will cover like how to write the queries and how to analyze the program, what are the queries has been involved, how to write the DB2 queries we can able to see. And these are like a first chapter. I will in this chapter I am going to cover like a data objects. These are like a data objects is there, storage group, database, table space, and table views, synonyms, index. In this chapter I am going to cover like a table space, table and views and synonyms. And next lesson like I will cover like a how to indexes and check constraints. And these are like a system object. What are the system object? Nothing but catalog, directory, and log. To identify the name of the catalog, these are like a ds and db06, and directory means ds and db06. These are like all database objects we call like by using ddl statement we can able to create. These are like a data objects. These are like a sample diagram how the database object like a tables. These are like a database, and these are like table space. In this, these are like a whole contain the database, and in this database we have like a table space. This is a small diagram, and in these table space we have like a small call like a table, and by using table we can able to create like a views. Each table we can able to create n number of views, and these are like how to create like a synonyms for the one table. This is a table number s1. We can able to create like a table synonym for the table 1. S1 is synonym and t1 is a table name. I have created like a s1 is a synonym for the table 1. These are like some of the tables check constraint, and we can able to see these are like a overview of the DB2 chapter. And I told like previously these are like a database objects, and in this database object like basically the developer will create a table, a view, and synonym. Because the database and table space will created by DBA, and it is not responsibility of the developer. And you can able to see the database and table space object created by supported DBA team only. A developer cannot be able to create like a table space and database. And in the next chapter I will cover like index object and referential constraint, how the check constraint we can able to see by using the database objects. These are sample syntax for the create, how to create a table. You can able to see these syntax, create table, table name. What is the table name here? Employee number. And while creating each table we have like a table name. This is a like column name, and what is the data type for the column name, and whether it is a not null or not null with these are like a check constraint name. We can able to see the column name and what is the data type of the column name, and these are like we can able to see we can able to create like a whether it is a not null and null value and what value we are going to pass. These are like a whether it is we are going to pass like a not null means we have to user should be enter the value, and not null with the default means if user is mean not enter the data, it like a passing the default value. We can able to see in the next few come of the pages what is the not null with the default value, what will be stored the not null value. If you are not giving any value here, see some of the column they are not given, so it is contained optional values. If you are providing the not null means user should enter the value. These are like considered like a optional fields. That's why they are not mentioned the not null fields. Means user mean table is not expecting the value here to enter here. Even if you are not enter the any value, it contain the blanks or zeros here. And these are like while creating a table, you can able to see the after closing bracket. This is the starting of the bracket for the first column. After mentioning each column name, then you have to close the bracket. Then in database name, what is the database name your in our application? Please check your like a DB2 person, what is the database name, and these are like a table space name. These are like a database name you can see, and the dot then table space name. Generally these are like a created by DBA here, like a database and table space. And these are like a sample language constraint of the three parts. DDL, what is the DDL contain, create, alter, drop, and these are like a DML statement, and these are like a data control language. We can go like a next see how like what is the database and what is the table space, because these are like a not specific to the application. We should know like what is the database and table space, but it is not able to a developer cannot able to create, but just for understanding of the knowledge we can able to see here. A database is a logical object allows the grouping of tables in the logical set. It is for application or per user also. And table space is a physical object. We some data set that hold the data for the tables. And both are transparent, and in partition one table space is there. We have seen already like what are the table space types. These are like a sample structure of the table space and database. You can see here the outline of the boundary is cutting the nothing but a table space here. The arrow mark you can able to see, and this is a table space, nothing but inside the database we have the number of table space. This is one type of table space, and this is another table space. This is another table space. Inside the table space again we can able to see the arrow mark. Inside the table space there are n number of tables. But here you can able to see the sequence or create the sequence of lightning, but create a database. We will create the database here. System admin will create, and table space created by DBA. And create table means nothing but we can a developer can able to create the table here. And you can again see the sample data, create a syntax for the these are like a data type, and these are like null attribute type. For each column type, for each column whenever a DB2 table created, we should mention the data type and the null attribute type. These are like fundamental two characters is required when creating a DB2 table. Earlier we have seen like while creating we have specified the different types of data types, char, varchar, and what is the date here, and decimal value. We will able to see now each one data types thoroughly. This is an example of the character data type. In character type we have like a three types of is there character. This is like a fixed length of character string. Means if you mention only char here and char of n, means the fixed length contains the maximum of 254 bytes we can able to store at a time. But here we have mentioned till maximum 6 here. In this column employee number store only 6 here. They have taken one employee number mid integer containing the character of 1 here. Like that we can able to store till character maximum 254 bytes here. Friends, these are like one of the important questions. Sometimes the interview may ask like how many, what is the maximum character string is there. We can able to store, we can able to simply say that we can able to store maximum 254 byte for the fixed length character. Similar like varchar n is there. For varchar n we can able to store maximum 4046 bytes. Here the difference initially 2 bytes it will store like a length of the field and then actual text field. Means 4044 is like actual text field and 402 bytes is like a length of field. Totally it will store like a 4046 bytes for the varchar. If you see like previously they have mentioned like a varchar field only 15 here they have mentioned, but we can able to see till maximum 4046. And long varchar like a variable length string, these are like a similar like a varchar field, but it is having a long varchar field. But these are like a both are similar, it will work, but mostly our DB2 application we are using the varchar field. And these varchar field not used in where and group by order by class cannot be appear in the primary or foreign key representation. Means whenever you are creating here primary key not null or foreign key, you should not mention like a varchar field here. And DB2 has a fundamental group of data type. The first which one has been group called character data type. This is the first one data type. We can able to see a sample of the data how we get in how the char and varchar store while inserting a new record here. See I am inserting here and insert into employee table and values are like a employee number I declared char 5 and varchar 10. Here I given sample value like a 13001 and Mohan. How the DB2 stored the value here, similar initially it will store like a employee number, then the varchar field will store like a here like a, what is the length here 1 2 3 4 5. What is the length of the field? The 2 bytes will occupy the what is the stored of the length of the bytes here 5 I have given here 5 5 characters, that's why it will store like a 5 here. And after how many bytes it will calculate for the table for these two columns only. You can able to see the 5 is the employee number and 2 here the length of the character, and remaining 5 here actual field of the character field. Totally here like 12 bytes. Even though I declared like employee char is a 5 and varchar is a 10, but actually the stored it like in the table 12 bytes it will occupy. Similarly, like I told, like we have like another type, data type is a graphic type. These are like a similar like a character field, like we have like a pixel length and varchar field. Where graphic is nothing but where character field and long varchar graphic field. These are like stored any of the picture like a double data type, DVDS character string. These are like used for a graphic data type. And next one is the most important like a numeric data type. We can these are like some of the important numeric data types, and sometimes the interview may ask like how many bytes is for stored for the integer small int and integer byte, and what is can you explain what is the decimal value field, and how the what is mean decimal value, primary and secondary value, which is the maximum. Sometimes they ask like a give like a decimal of 31 comma 5. What is the 31 and what is the 5? We'll see here. And these are like a float and real, double precision and float value. And you can see for small int it is having 2 bytes, whole number like a maximum like 32k it will store like a memory. And full word nothing, integer nothing but 4 bytes. The integer occupy the 4 bytes and the maximum it will store like a till 2 GB. And decimal is like here the primary key, primary comma secondary. You can write DAC or P. Maximum you can able to store here 31 bytes, means in the primary we have to give 31. A decimal number we can able to steal 31 characters. And float it is nothing but a double word, same like a 4 bytes it will occupy. And this is like a sample value. You can just now I told like a numeric, and here like a decimal a numeric file like a primary comma secondary, how it will occupy the decimal. If someone has given like maximum 31 bytes, decimal 31 comma 5 means these are like a maximum character. Similar like in COBOL we have given 26 comma 5. Like here numeric in COBOL we have given numeric like a 31 comma 5, 26 5 means, but in decimal it will occupy like these are like starting of the first 26 bytes, and remaining 5 digits it will store like a decimal value. But in DB2 we have to mention like a decimal 31 comma 5. So totally 31 bytes, and inside the 31 it like occupy the decimal value 5 values. That's why in the decimal we have to mention like primary and secondary, but 31 maximum that digits we have to mention here. Next we can able to see the another data type is like a date and time. These are like format different types of and format in different regions, and mostly we will follow the ISO standard here. And you can able to see how the internal representation, how the external representation. We will concentrate only the internal representation, how it will store like in the DB2 it will take. And these are like external representation while displaying in the DB2 format. In the output layout it will these are like a stored format like a external format. External nothing but how that when I'll reporting produce from DB2 it like a display, these are like a date format, but internally in DB2 it will store this format. And these are like a decimal format default value without a decimal, see 4 y mmdd. And for the similar like a day, these are like a time here, how the ISO time format hours, minute and seconds. And these are like a timestamp format. Friends, here one more point here, see for date how many bytes it will occupy, 4 bytes is occupied, and time is occupied by 3 bytes. Similarly for like a timestamp we occupy 10 bytes. But you can able to remember the format also YY compared to DD and time and timestamp nothing but combine of DD date and time and nanoseconds here. But here the 10 bytes here. Similarly, we will discuss now on like what is the attribute type, null attribute type. Null nothing but like a special register value contain the absence of value, then only we have to specify the null value. Not considered for any column function evaluating average like a sum or while calculating these function calculation column function, null value cannot be considered here except the count value. Whenever given like a count star, then only the null value will consider, otherwise all the column function evaluation the null value will ignore. We will see in the next page like a, for example, few of the example. And two null values are not considered like a equal and except for group by or order by. Whenever group by or order by given, see whenever the order by given sort nulls are come in the last, means whenever given like order by some column name and whenever that field column having the null values, then whatever the values come under the null values come under the last. This statement will tell the same thing. So in the sort, the null values come in the last, means all values will come like a 1, 2, 3, 4. But whatever they having null values, it will come in the last of the sorting. And unicity of column, unless you are unique with a not null function, unless you mention a unique with not null, it cannot be considered. And even for null plus 7, whatever you are adding, dividing null values, whatever value for the null, it will be considered null value. And how to handle the null values? We can handle the null values by using value or call ESC function to transfer null into existing value. This syntax we will see in the come of the sessions. And you can able to see these are like a choice null attribute, and we have like a 3 types of null attribute, like a default null is allowed, and not null with default value. Same like a not null with the default null, we have seen not null, and same like a not null but cannot be combined with the field proc. Okay, leave it. System default values, these are like important point friends, and sometimes the interview ask like what not null contain the, what is a character having not null defined, what is the value default value come with an, if you mention the not null field. For numeric columns it will store like a 0. For character fixed length characters, we have like a fixed length graphic and fixed length character, and similar like variable length character, variable length graphic. Here for 0 for numeric and blank for fixed length character, and blank for same like a fixed length graphic columns. A blank, this is a blank, please remember friends, this is not spaces here, this is not 0 for character, only for 0 is for numeric and blank for character. And 0 length string for variable length character. 0 length string, here see, earlier we have mentioned like a 0 for numeric column, but here 0 length string for variable character also. See, addition of the, we have specified the character, the field is 10005, along with it will store like a 0 length string for variable character, varchar field only. But inside for the numeric, here if you are not specified, only 0 is specified in the same bytes, like 5 bytes only. But here varchar, it is stored along with separately the 0 length string. Similar like for date field, whenever specifying the inserting date field, if you are not null with the default, means it will store like a current date, and here like a time means current time it will store. But timestamp, this is like a format, the current date and time, and if you are not specifying a not null with the default, current date and current time and current timestamp, here they given the format of the current time, that's why it will store like a 00. Generally in the system, if you specify the current timestamp, mean if you inserted today like a 2024, 2025 and February month, and you will store like a same to February month 2025 date and time, what is the time, it will store like a current date while inserting the record here. Similarly, we can able to see like a not null, we can able to specify the different types of values. Default can be either constant, we can specify and user define special registered and current SQL ID, and null values. For the current and date timestamp, the user default value will be, we can able to specify our own value not null with the default my own value. I can specify my own value, Instead of giving system own defined value, I can able to rename with our own value, constant value. And here not null with the default user. User means it will store like user value, the special register value. Similar like not null with the default current SQL ID, it will store, and not null with the default null value also we can able to specify. Instead of not null with the default character, and I want to specify override the for the character we have like a, we can able to go like a previous one. The character it will specify the blank for character field. I want to specify the null value. Here I can able to specify the null value. For 0 we have seen like a 0 here for numeric data. If you are not specify, even I can specify the null value, means it will not store any value. Instead of 0 also it will override the null value. And not null with the default means these are like a not null with the default value. These are like a different types of not null values. And we have like a null values. We will see some of the example how the null values for the numeric column. Earlier I have told like these null values cannot be considered for the column function. It will consider only for the count. These are the sample example. Here given as employee number, salary, and provide the average salary of these ones. What will happen here? I have entered like a 5 entries, 1 2 3 4 5. Even I have given like a salary of average of salary, the count will come to sum of these values and divided by 4, because here the column function I have given. The column function cannot be considered the null values, because here one null values is there, it will not consider, it will divide like a sum divided by 4. Even you can calculate by using calculator, you can able to see these are the result, it will come sum divided by 4, because the column function cannot be considered the null value. Null values are not considered like a column function, that's why it mentioned here. And similar like a column, character column. These are earlier we have seen like a numeric column. These are like a null, how the calculate like a numeric column. How it is calculated null for a character column. Resulting of a null value, you can will see employee number, work department, and department name. And this is the different table. When we are doing like a employee number matching with I have written like join query here. What will happen if you see employee number 320 and corresponding work department is E21. What is E21? Software supplier. And whatever the matching criteria 300 and E11 here. Even the E11 come under the operations. Even though here the primary key is having null value, see the same value, even here dependent table having null value also, it is not entering here. You can able to see provide list of employees and their department name by matching the department with the work department. Whenever doing resulting of writing of the join key by combining these two table with the primary key, null values, even the primary table having null value and secondary table having null value, it will not return the null value here. This is inner join key, you can able to see, except the order by and group by class. But this is only for the inner join key. This is the result. How it will work for the outer join key for outer join key solution. Similar like in previous example, we have given one null value. If you have written these are like a sample query, I have written a outer full outer join key. Here I got like a 320 employee number and 290 here left outer join. Here full outer, I can able to see 300 corresponding E11 is there, and 300 similar like a full outer join key, 320 software suppliers and 290 here null value is there here. What is the corresponding null value? Unknown here. Similar like one more query 300 here E11 operations, one more null value, same like a null value it will go and unknown table. So I got like 4 rows. For the full outer join key it will work, but whenever inner join key you have given, the null values never considered here. Outer join provide a solution that have employee department appear in the result. You can able to see these are like different types of outer join, left outer join, right outer join, and full outer join, matching rows and non-matching for the left outer join. Next we will see like these are like another example for the null values while doing a column function. See, these are like a sum of a here. See, while doing column function, the null values cannot be considered. That's why 2 plus 4 6. Sum of 8 be similar like 8. And while doing column function, 6 means sum of a here and count star. I told earlier the null values can be considered only for the count function and it will not consider for the column function. Here the count star means it will consider like a whole including the star null value. This question mark nothing but null value here. It is counting here the null value. So divided by 6 divided by 3 means 2 it here. Similar like I have given sum of a plus b. Sum of a plus b means here like a sum of whatever the values here a plus b. It will consider like only the not null values. That's why it came like a 7. 2 plus 5 7 here. These are like a column function. Again you have seen like a column function. Average of a. I given average means sum of a divided by count. Total count here like we have seen only 2 values 2 and 4. Two counts. That's why it comes like a 6 divided by 3. 2 means 3 value. Similar like we have seen like till now the data types. Now we will see like how to create like a table, create a owner concept. What is the owner in the DB2? We have while creating a DB2, we have seen these are like a complete table name and these are like a owner name and a table name. While creating a table, we already specify the in table name, table space, database name dot table space name. But while accessing, you must specify the what region of the table name here, what region of the owner and the table name. Here the owner name nothing but the region of the table. Similar like we have given the test and QA region and prod region. Those owner names you have to specify. It is like a specific application. You need to check with your senior people or like a SME. Then they will provide the what is the owner of the corresponding region. And you can access the table name here. Directly if you are not given like a create table like a give like accessing the table name, it will not work. You have to specify the region of the table, owner, who is the owner of the table, and then table name. Here like while creating means here like while DB has been created, like a developer has been created here Bart. Similar like he has created a table employee number. Here the who is the owner here. Sample example we can able to see here the Bart nothing but who is created the table. That's why I given the table owner of the table and table name here employee. But you should know like who is a Bart means you should check with your SME of the application. Generally the here like a owner nothing but the region of the application. Either DB2 prod QA region people. Are the owner privileges how I can able to provide this similar like I have created like owner. I want to give my access privilege or whatever the access I have created like a similar to another user. These are like some syntax is like a grant select and on table name to Lisa means I have given the all access to the Lisa person. This I am the Bart. I have given access to Lisa. So Lisa can access a select star from Bart to dot employee. Until unless I have given the access to Lisa, he cannot Lisa cannot be accessed to my table. That's why given able to see select star from Bart and employee number. So Lisa can access Bart dot employee number. And these are like a syntax for the like another table means whenever creating a like create table name like Bart dot employee. Here like I have created like a Lisa is there here. Earlier we have seen only accessing the Bart table, but I can able to create my own table with access my own access irrespective of always accessing to Bart dot employee. I can able to create like a like. Like is a command to access the similar like whatever the data here see structure of the table. It will create the same like a Bart dot employee. Means here one more point. Whenever creating a like table, it will not create like a data. It will only the structure of the table like column type and column name fields will be. It will like a similarly table it will create here Lisa data employee. Data will not be copied here, only the structure of the table it will create here, like column name, data type, and null attribute type, all the types it will create like another table, except the data, like means it will create like empty table. You can able to see some important points. The column have been adding identical names and data types and length, what is the time null attribute type, but database and table space information not copied. These are like a 3 types it will copy while creating a like command. And where it will store, like I have created like a table and column name, but generally where I have created, like whenever creating a table and column, and where it will going to store, we can able to see by using sysibm.sys columns. In the sys column, what are the column names it will stored, and sys table means who has been created this table, who is the owner of the creator, and we can able to see all the structure, database, table space name here. If you don't know who is of the owner of the creator of the table, we can go and check in here sysibm.systables. But if you want to access the what is the each column name and the corresponding attribute type and what is the length of the field and what is the null attribute type, you can able to see in the sysibm.sys columns. And this is like a synonym. We can able to create a synonym or nothing but alias. See, I have created like a create. These are like a syntax for this synonym. Create synonym name means my own name I have given for bar.employee. Mean irrespective of the bar.employee, I can able to directly give select star from SCMP. Unless if you are before running this command, you cannot able to give directly select star from SCMP. You have to create a synonym for this table, then only you can able to access here. See, I have given earlier permission to Lisa. Now Lisa can create like synonym for this table. So directly the Lisa can access now select star from SCMP, but it will refer to bar.employee table only. And next, like we have created earlier like a select table. Now we will see like how to create like a view. Result, but view is a virtual table, and friends sometimes they are asking in the interview what is a view, how to create the view in the table, what is the attribute of the view, what is the properties of the view, they will ask in the sometime interview. The view is a virtual table and defined by the select attach statement that produce the table as a result. View can be created a row or column subset of the table and calculated values some max from one or more rows and join of two or more tables. Means view can be created as some subset of table, means we can able to access the sum of the column. See, my table having 10 columns, I want to access only 6 columns. I don't want to access the whole table. Then I can able to create the view here. That's why we are using the view here, and I can able to do whatever the sum function, column function by using that view, and it will get updated into the main table. That's why we can able to create the view here. And these are like a properties here view, and we can able to see some of the syntax here, how to create the view. These are like a sample syntaxes of the view. Create view name. These are like a view name as a select star from sysibm systable. I am going to access the whole table by using sysibm.systar. I have created my own table. Even I can able to access a few of the columns by using as. See, this is like a create view name, and I am going to access only few of the columns as nothing but whatever the function you are going to do. These are like a similar function. I am going to creating my own table here. And similar like a create view name here, select whatever the functionality inside of this function, select star, the whole result will stored here in the view table. That's why we are creating over a view name is. Similar like a view name, and they like whatever the properties inside the select statement, I am doing processing the result, it will store the same like in the view. And this is like some of the view restrictions. You can able to go like involve in a join and contain column function, indicate like a group by columns, and we can able to contain the distinct keyword also. And we can able to insert the row in the view, but table columns cannot be usable in the view, can be null and not null with the default value, and view is a not only read only. View is a not read only here. Mean the view can be read only, not only read only, we can able to update or insert value. View definition cannot be contain the union and order by class here. Earlier while going to create here view by using select statement, you should not be having the union and order by class. Whenever creating the view here, in this select statement, you should not be having the union or order by class. These are some restrictions while going to creating a view here. And we will see like while creating a view, we can able to create like a check constraint, check option. Means I want to restrict the sum of the data while entering the data into the table. I can put like a check option. These are like one type of option. I don't want to allow other type of data and all.